Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another Warcraft replay here. I'm going to be casting this replay, right after the last one. I figured I should at least have videos queued up, just in case I miss them, because laziness hits me. But, MaDFroG versus Colorful. MaDFroG have cast recently. I did describe the game as a StarCraft player playing Warcraft 3, and unfortunately failing, but it was a pretty interesting game to watch, at least. He just went full on mass schools. I think he went mass gargoyles as well, transitioning, just to deal with air threats, but it was a rather interesting game, to say the least. Obviously it has some weirdness, but it was entertaining, I think. Colorful, haven't cast in quite some time, is probably just gonna go standard, I imagine. I don't really view Colorful as a wacky player or anything like that. I think he's just pretty solid. Just haven't seen him in quite some time, which is rather unfortunate. But lots of ghouls for now, but we can't really decide if it is mass ghouls yet, as we gotta see if we get past number 3 or not. Death Knight versus Demon Hunter here, so it looks to be pretty standard. Not sure if it's going to be. The map is on Echo Isles, as you do have ghoul number 4 on its way. I'm trying to remember who MaDFroG played against, but it's not coming to me. I think it was also a Night Elf matchup. No, it was a human matchup, I think, because wait, was it? Because he had to handle against air threats, and human air units seem like, no, I think it was Orc actually. I was gonna say human air units sound like pretty big threats, but I think Orc has quicker access to air units than humans would with their wyverns and bestiaries, versus like griffin aviaries with dragon orc riders. Double crypt looks to be mass school opening, but no ability points learned up for the Death Knight just yet. He is holding on to that. As we do have the Demon Hunter, I believe he's just going to maybe steal a mercenary, I don't know. He's just gonna go straight after the Acolytes, it seems. Base hasn't really been walled off too effectively, but he is actually going to be burning his TP scroll just to desperately try and defend this base here, as we do have the Wisp being attacked by the skeletons and ghouls. We are going to have Ancient of War number 2 being placed down, but I think that's just to keep this one Wisp safe. I do say that, but the Ancient of War is not being cancelled here. Death Knight is going to pick up 2, possibly 3, ghouls for Wisp for himself. He does have Unholy Aura, so he will at least keep up with these Wisps as last second detonation there. So 2 Wisps taken out with a couple of them self-detonating. I'm not sure if that was worth the investment that MaDFroG went ahead of 4. He is going to be going for a pretty early graveyard. Early in the context of he spent a lot with his mass ghouls. He even built that second crypt, which I don't think he is gonna stay with for long. I think he might even unsummon it later, or might even transition to mass gargoyles. Either way, Demon Hunter taking out the Ogre Magi at the marketplace very, very low while doing it. Did pick up the Greater Mana Potion, which is completely useless to him, I think. But oh well. He is going to try and sneak back to his base and try to heal up with his Moonwells here. Hunter Soul being placed down. We do have the second Ancient of War being uprooted to probably try and defend as best it can. Not actually being used to produce more units, it seems. I don't honestly think that Colorful could afford to produce off of two production buildings while having the same intent of going tier 2. I think he is wanting to go tier 2, and he is indeed going to start it. Pretty awkward start here from MaDFroG. Is going to finally go after some creep camps with his excess ghouls. And he is also going tier 2 as well. It seems like he did start a little earlier compared to his opponent. But yeah, his Crypt Fiend numbers aren't going to be that strong if he's going to go Crypt Fiend. Yeah, I don't know. It could just be mass gargoyles, to be honest, which might not even seem that great because Night Elves have pretty good number of ranged units to deal with those gargoyles. It kind of all just depends on who gets the higher numbers first. Yes, Dryads in an even number do completely annihilate gargoyles, but at the same time, gargoyles, all they need to do is get to a good mass, and then they just focus fire and hopefully try and kill an archer per volley. There's also the risk of just going heavily to Dryads and then completely being swarmed by mass ghouls, which MaDFroG has shown to make that kind of transition. He's actually done that transition 2 or 3 times in the replay that I did cast him on. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this mid game turns out. TP staff being used to try and keep this Death Knight honest, but he did get a free wisp kill there, unfortunately, so just getting incremental advantages here and there.
Summoning is complete.
Okay, we are going straight into tier 3, which is surprising, and we are going to have mass gargoyles on the way. Tier 3, I'm pretty sure it's just to enable Frenzy to be available to MaDFroG if he wants to make that transition. He is getting a second hero. Maybe tier 3 might be enabling a 3-hero comp again. But at this point, I'm not too sure. I honestly have no idea what is going to transpire here. Panda second for Colorful. Excellent hero versus ghouls and gargoyles alike. Drunken Haze just makes those ghouls a lot less effective. Breathfire is gonna pick up the Murloc kills there, but the Tome gets picked up by the Death Knight. Yeah, Drunken Haze is pretty good versus mass units. Breath of Fire with the combination is equally good because of the extra damage through the burn. And yeah, let's see how well these gargoyles perform. They are gonna get spotted by the Ancient of War, so no surprise tactics here from MaDFroG. Unfortunately, the Wisps, however, aren't exactly exposed to those gargoyles, so they won't be able to get any free kills anytime soon, I don't think. TP being used, I'm not sure if it was TP scrolls, but here comes the gargoyles, and the wisps quickly swap themselves out of the wisp from the gold mine.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay, tier 3 is about to be completed very soon. I guess tier 3 also enables stone form, but I rarely see stone form being used in competitive play. I mean, it's not like I never see it, it's just that I don't know, I rarely see mass gargoyles, in fact. I guess that is the reason why. Frenzy is on its way. We do have a decent number of ghouls. I'm not sure if MaDFroG's gonna keep with his ghoul production. I think he's at 50, that's why he's not actually making any units. No, he's at 42. So he's just using his resources to try and establish himself. An expansion on the bottom right here, which will be spotted by the Demon Hunter. He does have the TP staff if he needs it. Frost Nova is going to be utilized, but that is just not going to be enough as the slow wears off and the boosted speed. Demon Hunter is going to just completely outrun the undead army here.
Research complete.
Alrighty, Frenzy is now complete. And we have a pretty balanced number of gargoyles and ghouls here.
Our forces are under attack.
Colorful is, I believe, just transitioning fully into mass dryads. He is tier 3 as well, so he can go into mountain giants as well.
Upgrade.
Mountain giants, I think, might actually just be the killer of MaDFroG's comp. I mean, yeah, they don't actually attack back versus gargoyles, but gargoyles also take forever to kill a mountain giant. That kind of leaves either the dryads to fight back, or the panda and the demon hunter will eventually get their orb of venoms and just repel those gargoyles themselves. MaDFroG
is complete.
Maybe looking to try and clear out this camp here, but the demon hunter is being a bit of a nuisance. Seems like expansion is going to be answered at the bottom left. Yeah, it's weird. Both sides, or at least MaDFroG, wants to be aggressive, but I think he's just not sure which fights he wants to take. He is going to take down this Ancient of War for free. Bit of a mistake for Colorful to leave it unattended. Which of that is just a free building for himself. TP staff from the Demon Hunter. I don't think him with the single Dryad is going to be enough to fend off against this kind of threat, as you do have a Frost Nova being cast onto the Demon Hunter. Panda is out. Drunken Haze is going to get tossed there and is going to kill off one of those ghouls. Gargoyle, or one of those gargoyles. A ghoul also being affected there by the Drunken Haze. Death Coil, not going to be enough. It is only a level 1 Death Coil, so I'm not exactly sure if that was wise for MaDFroG to invest his mana on that ghoul. Even if he does get healed up, he is still going to get affected by Drunken Haze, and of course the layering of the Soul Poison of those Dryads, so yeah, I think he should have just cut his losses there. Armor supply both sides even at 45 each. We are going for crypt number 3, which is okay, which is a bit worrisome, but I mean MaDFroG loves his crypts, it seems. The expansion on the bottom left is being delayed a little bit. Gargoyle is just wiping out the Tangle Gold Mine every time it pops up. And it is going to warrant a couple of ranged units to defend this. Demon Hunter trying to keep track of the undead heroes, and with access to level 2 mana burn, I mean 100 mana burn a pop is just not fun to deal with. Orb of Venom there, tagging one of those gargoyles. Who's that low upkeep? MaDFroG's that low upkeep. He is going to just go fully with those gargoyles, it seems. Demon Hunter going straight after the gargoyles as well, just eating the DPS from the undead heroes as well. No mana to toss any spells, but thanks to the armor reduction of Corruption, is going to force the Demon Hunter to retreat a little bit.
Our forces are under attack.
Alright, Tangle Gold Mine is about to be completed, which should be nice for Colorful, because that does mean that his units can finally do something other than defend. Demon Hunter being dropped pretty low, is thankfully going to use the Moon Walls, which aren't upgraded just quite yet. Wellspring definitely should be a priority. I do desperately preach that Wellspring upgrade is absolutely pivotal, especially in the late game, because it basically revives units that haven't actually died. So it's very well worth the investment, to be honest. Dark Wizard, or Renegade Wizard on the right side here, is going to get cleared out. Item is going to be +3 ring, not that great. And it is going to force the undead units to scatter, it seems. yeah, MaDFroG, despite having the numbers, it seems like he is a bit scared of what the Panda could possibly do. But it's 68 versus 50. I mean, at one point, numbers are just going to completely overwhelm your opponent despite
Our forces are
the
under
composition
attack.
of each army. Colorful is still sticking to no upkeep, so he is confident in keeping his opponent at bay. He does have, I think, a Hippogriff in the air, so Hippogriff not enough to deal with this by themselves, but
Research complete.
yeah, that is a lot of gargoyles. And the archers and dryads are just not numerous enough to deal with them by themselves. Panda needs to get a good Drunken Haze and Breath of Fire combo off, but it seems like Stone Form has been researched and is going to completely nullify the burn of the Drunken Haze as well as the slow and miss effects of it as well. Obviously, you gotta take the brunt of the initial damage of Breath of Fire, but Stone Form, yeah, being utilized to deal with the Panda's abilities is something I didn't actually expect. I probably should have remembered that was a thing. I kind of just solely focused entirely on the regenerative aspects of Stone Form, but regardless, being able to cleanse the debuffs
Our forces
is
are under
useful.
attack.
We do have the first Mountain Giant on its way. Resistance or Hardened Skin is also being researched. On its way, I said. It's already out. That's what I meant to say. But the gargoyle numbers are looking pretty scary. MaDFroG is about to hit that 80 supply, which is, I mean, everyone's dream, to be honest. I mean, of course, 100 is a thing, but losing 7 out of your 10 gold, right? 6 out of your 10 gold is just, it's too much at this point. And yeah, usually only transition into once you are going into all-in situations. Crystal Ball gets dropped once again. I do believe that the Death Knight had it before, and he sold it after being used a couple of times. So getting it as a second drop is definitely some feels bad moments right there. Camp on the left, pray that it's not a Crystal Ball, but I mean the possibilities. It is possible for that to happen. Lots of Hippogriffs in the air right now. I can't tell how many there are. 9 Hippogriffs. Is that enough to deal with what looks to be 2 control groups of gargoyles? I don't think so. +3 attack gargoyles as well. 64 to 100 damage. That is pretty. Yeah, you can see here it's a lot more than the Hippogriffs. Hippogriffs have a more controlled damage range, but it's a lot more it's a lot less compared to gargoyles, who, despite having a wide range of the damage possibilities, I mean the minimum is still higher than like the Hippogriff's maximum, who are at +1 attack versus the +3. And Nova Coil with the focus firing of the gargoyles there is going to force the Demon Hunter to drop to 300 health and be preserved back home. Here we go. Here, Panda also getting killed off. Armor scroll being used by the undead army as well, as we are just pecking it away at both sides. Hippogriffs, they do have a lot more health compared to, or a little bit more health compared to the gargoyles, but I think the armor scroll kind of does its magic and is gonna force what it seems to be the Demon Hunter's first death. Oh, he's gonna use the Moon Walls just in time, and yeah, that is gonna be Demon Hunter living at level 4. Gargoyles still pretty good numbers. MaDFroG still at about 76 supply here. Oh, yikes, he goes to high upkeep, which is really surprising. Demon Hunter once again getting focus fired. It seems like the evasion is just not going to be enough. Green Shell to protect him from Nova Coils, but I honestly don't think the undead heroes have enough mana to go for it regardless. Dryads and Archers are being completely picked off one by one here. A couple of those Gargoyles also being transformed into stone form. Not entirely sure why. The Panda is dead. Maybe probably just for healing, but yeah, this did not look good for Colorful. He just got overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Dryad needs to be careful not to get picked off. There we go. Demon Hunter is kind of by himself. We do have a couple of Hippogriffs, but like I said, there's just way too many Gargoyles, and the damage that these guys do just negates the natural advantage that Hippogriffs have. Ooh, yikes there. Only a handful of Gargoyles did their autos against those Hippogriffs, and that wasn't pretty. Gargoyles did split a little bit to try and get both of those Hippogriffs, but sadly they are a little faster compared to those stone bats, I guess. It does make sense. Birds should be naturally faster versus just stone statues. As we are just swarming with their units right now. Gargoyles. That was a very quick stone form here from those Gargoyles. And I believe they should all just go into their Gargoyle forms. There we go. Scroll healing being used by the undead heroes. Another Drunken Haze is going to be cast once again, and I think there's a short cooldown on stone form, but regardless, I think that the Gargoyles actually don't care. They are just going to try and wipe out those units as quickly as possible. Death Knight is at about 200 health, so he needs to be careful himself. One Gargoyle does get picked off, as it was probably not part of the control group here. I think we're even going into 3 control groups worth of Gargoyles for MaDFroG. It's just that he still hasn't killed off these mountain giants, which is a bit of a problem. These guys soaking the damage might indicate good fortunes for Colorful, maybe? Question mark. Crystal Ball being used, and I believe just promptly sold. No, he's actually going to keep this Crystal Ball, which is interesting. Okay. Here comes the fight once again. 84 versus 60 or 76. Pretty decent number of Hippogriffs right now, and with a mixture of the 2 heroes with Orb of Venom as well as a good number of Dryads as well. I'm not exactly sure if this number of Gargoyles are going to be enough to seal the deal. As there we go, another scroll protection is going to be channeled, and the Hippogriffs are slowly being whittled away here. This is such a mess, I actually really can't tell what's happening, but from what I can guess, the Gargoyles are still plentiful in numbers. They have wiped out all of those Hippogriffs, and it seems like they are about to wipe out the remaining ground units of the Night Elf player. I say that, but it seems like the Gargoyles are going to get pulled off for now. Dryads, oh yikes, they might have actually overstayed, and they're going to get quickly picked off by the mass focus firing of those Gargoyles. Demon Hunter, Panda, it's still a little difficult to deal with, since since the evasion of the Demon Hunter will eventually stack up, thanks to just the sheer volume of basic attacks coming in from the Gargoyles there. Stone Form preemptively being used to try and mitigate the Breath of Fire Drunken Haze combo. Panda at 140 life is going to use the last remaining mana of the Moonwells and is going to channel TP Scroll there in his inventory. Now enough units are going to retreat a little bit, and this is going to leave this expansion exposed here. I believe main base gold mines have been collapsed. They have indeed. And with this Tree of Life being taken down, I don't really expect Colorful to find a window to rebuild that expansion, and that is just gonna be game, it seems. That was really weird. I do still think that the Panda found himself to be of pretty good use, despite Stone Form being used pretty well. MaDFroG was like super on point with his stone forms. Honestly, I would have accused him of macroing or something of the sort, but regardless, hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was definitely something out of the norm, but I guess that is thanks to MaDFroG. Mass Gargoyles apparently were able to just beat Night Elf, which I didn't expect. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys again next time.